is under a hurricane warning and storm conditions could be coming to your area by early this morning. We'll tell you what to expect and when. And we'll show you what the hurricane preparedness frenzy was like in the city this morning. Talk to people who are getting ready for the worst while hoping for the best. And hurricane shelters will tell you what the new rules are. Plus, last night's report on a murder in Ohio is now a double murder. We'll have the details. And we have details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
Grandpa, I want crystal water, please. Can I please get one crystal water, please?
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It pleases your heart, knowing she will grow up drinking the brand you have always trusted. It gives you peace of mind. Crystal water. Taste you can trust.
RF&G Insurance wants you to be prepared for the hurricane season. Part of that preparation is doing a thorough assessment of your home and other assets. Be sure to take into consideration where your home is located and what it is constructed of. RF&G Insurance Company Limited, where it pays to get it right.
Reach BEL at any time from anywhere for service requests or queries. Call free at 0800 BEL Care or 0800 235 2273. Send a text message to 235. Email belcare@bel.com.bz. Send us a Facebook message. Use our online chat at www.bel.com.bz. Or message us through WhatsApp at 600 6097.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
Contraband is the illegal importation of goods such as alcohol, tobacco, foods, and parts. Apart from breaking the law, smugglers are also now endangering the health of all Belizeans. They risk bringing coronavirus into Belize with their contraband. To keep COVID-19 out of Belize, everyone entering the country is screened and quarantined. But contraband smugglers are not using legal entry points and are bypassing all safety measures. And these same smugglers are moving among the population. They could be carrying the virus. By coming into the country illegally, they could cause outbreaks of COVID-19. Buying or smuggling contraband is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Report smuggling. For SMART, call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, 0800-SAVE-BZE. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank.
She's called Tropical Storm Nana, and tonight that storm has Belize under a hurricane warning, meaning the 2 red flag with a black center is being flown above public buildings from Belize City southward. Those flags went up at 9 a.m. and signify that in those areas you should expect hurricane-type conditions within 24 hours. Well, right now, those conditions are only maybe 8 to 10 hours away. Forecast models are suggesting that the storm will pass over the country sometime between midnight tonight and 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. At 6 p.m. this evening, the storm was located at about 100 miles southeast of Belize City, and it had maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, moving west at 15 miles per hour. According to the local and international weather experts, the storm, which was supposed to intensify a bit more today, changed very little in terms of its development. For its 3 p.m. analysis of the storm, the National Hurricane Center in Miami said, quote, Nana has not strengthened during the past several hours, end quote. But the environmental conditions are still favorable for it to become a weak Category 1 hurricane before it makes landfall later tonight. This evening, we spoke via video conference with one of the meteorologists at the National Met Services for a more detailed look at what changed between last night and this afternoon. Here's what she had to say.
As of 3 p.m., as you said, Tropical Storm Nana has not intensified, and most of today it has changed little in strength. Currently, it is still at 60 miles per hour, but there is still a possibility that it could become a minimal Category 1 hurricane before it makes landfall. It has decreased slightly in speed. Right now it's moving at 15 miles per hour compared to earlier this morning, which was 18 miles per hour. And so conditions are still favorable for it to strengthen slightly before it makes landfall between midnight to early tomorrow morning. If you have been following satellite images, the conditions surrounding it are very moist. It was interacting with some low-level shear to the north earlier today, but since it's approaching inland, it has regained, it is a small system, but it has regained some organization, even though it's not intensifying. So it has maintained relatively stable during the course of today. And in front of us, we currently still have light wind shear and also warm sea surface temperatures. So, and it's closer, but it's still about 155 miles offshore from the nearest point closest to Belize. So with the projection for it to decrease in speeds again tonight, there is still the possibility that it can strengthen somewhat before it reaches the coast tonight. On the current projection, landfall could be anywhere between Belize City and Dangriga, but you can't really focus on the center of the storm because of it's not a big storm, but it's the distance between Belize City and Dangriga is relatively small. So anywhere within the hurricane warning area from Belize City southward, it can make landfall. But currently, it's looking more like anywhere between Dangriga and Independence. Currently, tropical storm force winds extend out to 70 miles from the center. So anywhere between just north of Dangriga could experience the wind speed that it is at right now, 60 miles or even higher, because you can get higher gusts within it. Belize City is also expected to experience tropical storm force winds if the system doesn't intensify further. But also note that even though that's the area, those two areas are the area of focus, as you asked about what could be expected in the north, they can also experience tropical storm force winds. That's why currently we have a tropical storm warning for those areas north of Belize City. But in the event that it does strengthen and become a Category 1 hurricane, then anywhere between Belize City southward could experience Category 1 wind speed, which is between 74 miles per hour to about 95 miles per hour winds. Apart from focusing on the winds, the storm has a lot of rainfall, and it has already produced a lot of rainfall over other Caribbean countries such as Jamaica in its passage. And earlier this morning, the Yucatan Peninsula, even though it's quite a bit away, a distance from them, have already started to experience some showers from the outer bands of the system. And just recently, our satellite images and also our lightning detection system detected that in Belmopan and also in the Orange Walk area, they have started to experience thunderstorm activity. And right now, the rainfall is one of the biggest threats, and it's projected that some areas could receive up between 3 to 6 inches, and like in the case between Belize City and Dangriga, where it might likely make landfall, they can expect isolated amounts of up to 8 inches of rainfall.
We know that the hurricane warning is in effect for the coast of Belize from Belize City southward, and a tropical storm warning and a hurricane watch is in effect for the coastline north of Belize City. At 3 p.m., the National Hurricane Center, in its discussion about TS Nana, said Nana is running out of time to strengthen before landfall. And between that and the ongoing shear, none of the intensity guidance forecasts it to become a hurricane before landfall. The intensity forecast calls for Nana to strengthen to near hurricane strength at landfall. And so tonight into the early morning will be about waiting and hoping and praying that the storm doesn't make it to hurricane strength before it makes landfall. But today was all about those frenzied last-minute preparations. Nana developed fairly quickly over the last 48 hours, and by last night it became clear that she was headed for Belize and would not deviate. So today was the day to hustle up groceries, shutter your homes, and stock up on water, gas, and other necessities. Cherise Halsal was out there in the crowds.
Nana is on the approach, and this morning, residents of Belize City were in a state of reluctant preparation. We caught up with a few of them on their last-minute grocery buying missions and spoke to one man who is still getting organized with his hurricane plan.
Well, I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
How are you dealing with the fact that we're getting a hurricane on top of everything else that was going on?
Well, I just have to pray to God. They say to go with our force. Go straight to Belize, I say.
What part of Belize City you live?
I live on Magazine Road.
You think you'll be safe there?
No.
So you're planning to go to a shelter?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Which shelter?
Well, I have to find one. Not find none yet, but I have to find one. Well, I called this morning, see me got 200 advice from the police. Everything good for me sit already. Right now I try to control.
I'm just here just getting basic stuff, things to wash, toilet paper, extra things like dozen egg and so forth, but nothing much.
So you're not overly concerned about a hurricane?
Well, you have to concern about weather, right? But the thing is, we have to always prepare, and this is the hurricane season. So, as every time you get money, you just have to buy a little bit of things, stock up as usual, but you can't be overwhelmed because a lot of people overwhelmed nowadays.
Make sure you buy all your groceries and so on, and prepare and hunker down. That's about it. I wish everybody good luck, and stay safe.
And over at Brothers Habet, plywood was selling fast, with customers loading up and rushing off to secure their homes.
I purchased some plywood to nail up some windows to protect the house from the storm. If you say and blow, we can't take no chance. That's all we have to go by is chances. Because it might hit hard, it mightn't hit hard. We can't predict that, right?
What happened with your house during Earl?
Nothing will happen because we prepare the same way. The pile up there, a lot of things happen to we need God in our life.
The plywood sale has been going on since yesterday. From about 1 o'clock, sales for plywood was increased by almost 100%. So we've been selling plywood by the pallets. And I think in about less than 2-3 hours, we're selling about 2 pallets of plywood. The demand for plywood is there, and at the same time, it's going fast.
I'm just doing a favor for my sister-in-law. Buy the plywood for a box up the house, in case up the house so that do no water damage.
How much it costs to protect the house in this way?
About $1,000.
That's a heavy expense right now during something like COVID, no? How is all that piling on?
Well, I know my money, so they send it to Western Union to make idea of the business. So.
And while city dwellers got ready to hunker down, many are just starting the journey home. So why are you coming in?
Because I'm pregnant. I have to see the doctor.
When are you due?
Soon.
So you could have a baby during a hurricane,
I think so. Hope not. I don't have I know the work. I don't have funds to. I don't have nothing. So I just have to take anything when I come.
Where are you traveling to right now?
San Ignacio.
Are you going to stay with family?
Yes, ma'am. First, so when San Pedro opened back.
So what do you anticipate are going to be your preparations for the hurricane tonight?
Get ready, fix up my house, everything when I touch down today. I leave frustrated, but the good thing I don't come out of the island, so I go home now.
What do you think this hurricane would have been like if the government had chosen to keep the lockdown on?
It may be rough, really rough, because a lot of people suffer at San Pedro.
And if the journey to the mainland was the calm, the ordeal at the terminal was the storm. That's because, by 1, there was a large, unsocially distanced group trying to get out of the city. And as bad as the rush may have been, those people are returning to secure homes on higher ground. That's not true for everyone in the city, and today it led to a considerable amount of anxiety, because noon came and went and the shelters were still closed. We met one man who was wondering why.
Because I want to know about the shelter.
Where's your home located?
Amara 129.
But you don't feel that it's safe there?
No. I just want to get in a shelter. I'm afraid I'm drunk the part of there. I just want to know what we're getting there. I just want to save my life. I'll go wait till I come.
But while that problem was solved by 4 p.m., the problem of mounting poverty seems an insurmountable one. This taxi driver says that he couldn't manage any hurricane prep. He's just too broke.
I have to stay home just right a part of there because no money there and you need money to move around and get around, and then after the hurricane done, the little bit we do spend for right now for the hurricane, when the hurricane done we need back money for continue on, and then you know what? For people try to listen panic virus, to not make it spread, people have to about again rapidly to try to get back. So if they could help you with the relief funds, that will work. Make sure you could try to get groceries and stuff, but money not there. So how you can't get no groceries or no money?
So this time what happened?
Well, then you just have to bunker it how we got how we call. What's that? We have to get we leave pack bread and we leave pound of rice and pound of sugar and pound of flour and that right there, so I eat what they eat.
But Belize's dire straits won't stop Nana, which, by the time it makes landfall, could have become a hurricane. And wherever they found the funds, Belizeans came out in perhaps unadvised pre-storm numbers to secure all their necessary hurricane supplies. Charisse Halto, 7 News.
As you saw in that story, the lines were piling up at the bus station with absolutely no social distance. The job of making sure that doesn't happen falls to the police, who have the tough time of policing a natural disaster within a pandemic. About those lines, he said police have to monitor it more carefully, but the public also has to police itself.
Well, Jules, we have been monitoring the bus terminal as well as the water taxi terminal. I have spoken to Mr. Rosado in respect to these areas because I have not seen the video, but I have seen a photograph of the bus terminal where it showed a number of persons clustered together. You would know that we do have surveillance cameras at the bus terminal in the city. And so I have said to Mr. Rosada to ensure that from the command center, we monitor the terminal as well as to put police officers there. And where we see that there are persons who are clustering together, that we ensure that we separate them. Yes, we understand that in this time that people are trying to relocate from point A to point B, but that still does not mean that we must forget the protocols that have put in place to ensure our safety from the pandemic. I saw a post on Facebook this morning, I believe, and the post said that the virus do not have a brain, but we have a brain. So we must be the ones to think, and we must think prudently that if it is that we don't do what is expected of us in terms of the protocol, then we put ourselves at risk. I want to, at the end of the day, appeal again to people to please follow the rules. There'll be sufficient buses to take everyone where they want to go. There'll be sufficient time to get where they want to go. Jumping on top of each other will not put us nowhere. So let us do the right thing and try to stay safe, not only from the storm, but also from the virus.
We'll have more from the commissioner later as he speaks about what the cops are doing to make sure no one breaks into your home while you go to seek shelter from the storm. Turning now to Nemo, we spoke to the national coordinator this evening about what you should expect from Tropical Storm Nana. Speaking to us via phone from Nemo headquarters in Belmopan, he says that the storm track shows that the Stein Creek, Belize and Cayo districts should pay very keen attention.
Definitely you'll get some heavy winds in Belize district and even in the Cayo district, because that projected path shows it going through Belize into Guatemala. So it's almost like we're looking at the next Greta, Richard and Earl. This would be like historically the fourth storm in history to literally go right through the center of the country. So if you are north of where the eye of the storm will pass, you will definitely feel some wind impact.
Where do you all believe on the current track it will make landfall?
We're looking at the border between, initially at this point, everything is relative in time, between the Belize district and the Stein Creek district in that range, which then puts you, as it moves due west into the Cayo district. So the brunt of the impact when it is strongest along the coast still over water is, between the Stein Creek and the Belize district.
Now, is it any consolation for you all that between last night and this morning when the Hurricane Hunter flew in, it did not find that the storm had significantly strengthened? It still remains a tropical storm.
In a way it is, because psychologically for people, it means that, it's only a tropical storm, so to speak, even though it will have some damage and create some damage and could have some devastating effects. However, for us, we were more monitoring the wind speed and the strength of the winds for the tropical cyclone because a hurricane, 74 miles per hour, and a tropical storm at 72 miles per hour, you're only talking about 2 miles difference, which in many regards isn't much. So this is one of the things that we teach our staff, that don't worry too much about the category, worry about the strength of the winds associated with that tropical cyclone. And we're worried about the characteristics of the cyclone, how much rainfall, what is the likely storm surge height, what is the speed of movement, to know how long it would stay over land, and to calculate, what could be the possible impacts. Let us see what is coming. Because you had storm like Iris, small and compact, 30 miles in radius. And you had storm like Keith, almost 200 miles in radius. You had storm like Dean, didn't even dump, if I have it right, about 4 inches of rainfall. Keith dumped 40 to 44 inches of rainfall. So every storm have their own. We expected 20 feet storm surge from Dean. We didn't get that in 2006. So every tropical cyclone have its own characteristics. What are the main risks associated with this cyclone that is now approaching the country?
Later on, we'll tell you about the plan for hurricane shelters and the COVID requirements in those shelters. Plus, we'll tell you how a murder in Cayo is now a double murder investigation. Don't go away.
Just that. The construction capabilities of this panel is very unique compared to the traditional way of construction. The panel offers acoustic and thermal properties and can be installed within 50% of the time that a conventional construction would have been installed. The building is lighter but yet more durable.
Other fake building panels on the market can't compare to Coventec's engineered high-tension wire mesh frame, which will make your home stronger and highly resistant to impacts and weather conditions such as earthquakes and hurricanes.
So whether for your homes, stairways, fences, or big building projects, let's change the way we build. Make sure to use the Coventec brand building panels available only
at Benny's.
Benny's in 60 seconds.
Price Premier Products Limited has been proudly serving Belize for many years. We aim to serve you better and are pleased to announce our new office with convenient parking at number 1728 Chatham Street, Belize City. Here, you will find our Price Smart outlet opening on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Be impressed with the variety of quality branded products such as Pampers, Always, Tide and Downy, Del Monte, DAC, Vigo and Alessi, Duracell, Crystal Farm Cheese, Linda Powdered Milk, Great Lakes Pork Tails, Ground Coffee, Authentic Gillette for men and women. We distribute many of the world's top and finest brands to supermarkets and stores nationwide. For authentic brands and quality products, visit us today. Price Premier Products Limited, importer and distributor of fine quality products.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
Bellykin got your back.
What you mean?
Brother, when you buy a 6-pack of Bellykin beer, Bellykin Stout or Bellykin Light, you could enter for winning a Bellykin's weekly drawings.
What are the prizes?
Over 10,000 in a weekly prizes, including Bellykin beer, Bellykin bar tabs, and cash. With your purchase on a 6-pack, scan the QR code or visit bellykin.com/win to enter your unique 6-pack ID. But make sure you keep your 6-pack cartons for proof of purchase.
Why? Bellykin really got your back with the purchase of every 6-pack.
Bellykin, the beer of Belize.
Congratulations to our Bellykin Got Your Back winners to date. Continue purchasing your 6-packs and entering your codes for a chance to win over $10,000 in weekly prizes because Bellykin got your back.
Bellykin, the beer of Belize.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
I'm Chef Sean Quillen, and I got a nice surprise for you today.
Take your cooking skills to a whole new level with Glazed Out, TNC's first ever cooking show with culinary expert Chef Sean Quillen. Tune in every week for exciting Belizean cuisine and some of Belize's biggest names in culinary art and culture, and watch as they create unique and delicious meals that will surely excite your taste buds. Glazed Out in the kitchen with Chef Sean.
Belizean food, how another level. Premiering only on TNC 10.
Last night we told you about the horrific murder of Joshua Vies, a 28-year-old husband and father who was shot in cold blood by someone he may have known. While Vies died instantly, his neighbor, 21-year-old Anthony Sul, who was also shot, was critical but stable. Now, he too has succumbed to his gunshot wounds. We got an update on the case this evening from the Commissioner of Police, who told us that Sul's death is a major setback in the investigation, as authorities had hoped that he would be able to identify the shooter.
In respect to the double murder in San Ignacio, because I would think that by now you have been appraised of the fact that the shooting victim in San Ignacio had passed away. So that is now a double murder. The major crime team has been exceedingly busy in the San Ignacio area, searching for clues and answers in terms of what may have gone wrong. From what we're seeing at this time, it may have some drug implication. We were hoping that the second victim would have survived and he would have been able to tell us who the person or persons were that did it. But he had succumbed, and so we'll have to look elsewhere with a view to see if we'll be able to gather evidence to tell us who may be responsible for that particular crime. But the investigation continues where that is in relation to that matter.
Commissioner also spoke about yesterday's killing in Orange Walk, as we told you about the fatal stabbing of Joaquin Perez. The 22-year-old was called out of his house just after noon and ended up chasing the man who called him with a machete. The other man defended himself and ended up stabbing Perez as many as 3 times. He ran home but collapsed. Today, the commissioner told us it's a killing but not necessarily a murder because there was some element of self-defense.
The one in Orange Walk, the stabbing, there seems to be some element of self-defense. From what I have been briefed is that the victim may have been chasing the the suspect with a machete, and the suspect eventually responded by inflicting stab wounds to the person who was wielding the machete at him. So again, there's some element of self-defense there. So what we have done is that we have put the file together and we have forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution, as we would normally do in these type of cases. And we will be guided by the instructions of the DPP where that matter is concerned.
And turning back now to the storm that's bearing down on Belize at this hour, the national coordinator of NEMO says that the organizational priority for NEMO is the opening of shelters and making sure that everyone in that shelter is practicing COVID prevention measures.
Organizational priority for NEMO is the opening of shelters, which we have scheduled for this afternoon. That is absolutely priority, so that people could have a safe, dry place to go to. So that is absolutely priority in terms of saving lives. The second thing that goes along with that is the human resource and their protective equipment, and likewise the protective equipment for, limited though it may be, for the shelterees, the people seeking shelter. But we are impressing the chairman of NEMO. Message from, the Prime Minister, we must ensure that people wear a mask going into the shelters. But individuals, to protect themselves or protect the person next to them, must be wearing a mask and practice good cough, or sneeze etiquette.
Okay, at what time will shelters be opening?
The plan is to open the shelters at 4 p.m. We were looking at putting it a little later, but normally we know from experience 4 to 6 is when you see people start to mobilize and start to trickle in to try and reach their shelter.
And for the law enforcement officers who will be policing those shelters, viral protection is also very important. According to the Ministry of Health, 42 law enforcement personnel, that is, between the police, the BDF and the Coast Guard, have tested positive for COVID. The Commissioner today amplified D4's remarks on the need for absolute COVID care within the shelters.
We also want to ensure that the persons who go to the shelter, that they do not move all over the shelter. They try to confine yourselves to the area allotted to you. We still have to ensure that there is adequate social distancing within the shelters. So families will have to stay within their own sphere and ensure that there is adequate social distance between them and other families. So these things are important for us, and our officers who will be working at these shelters will be given as well the adequate PPE gears, because we need to ensure that our officers are safe.
Another organization that's keeping a very close eye on those shelters in the Belize City is the Belize City Council City Emergency Management Organization, or CEMO for short. They are the City Hall's local government equivalent of NEMO, and they are responsible for keeping residents of Belize City safe during the storm. But as the country's largest population center, that's not an easy task. We stopped by today to talk with the Deputy Mayor about their level of preparedness.
Since Sunday, we had put all our 13 committees on alert. After advisory from the National Met Service and the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, we decided that we will make sure that our city people, since we are responsible for the city, will be well informed as to what should be done during this time of emergency. Since yesterday at 4, we've put our EOC in action. I think when you passed there a while ago, you'll see some of the members, people from the BDF there, the Port Authority, police are already there, just gearing up and making sure that whenever the next advisory comes out, we'll be on hand to give out the information, to pass information out. We have our education committee, public information committee, making sure that we put out advisories as quickly as possible. As soon as we get them from NEMO and the Met Service, we deal with it as quickly as possible. On the ground, we have the CEMO liaison officer, who is Ms. Mel Dawson, who is coordinating with all the other stakeholders, Red Cross, NEMO, Port Authority. You have a committee that basically will have to kick into high gear.
What's the plan for aid to, let's say for example, you have the flood-prone areas of the city and those parts get inundated by whatever.
Even before the storm hits, we encourage those people to leave the area. We provide buses, and the buses will be announced when they will be out there. All we're asking is that the people cooperate with us and move on a timely basis to get you to shelters. Now, within those communities, we have some flood-prone areas like the Genosha area, certain parts of Collet as well, and Lake Independence. The Red Cross, along with us and NEMO, we train people who live in those areas, so they know exactly who will get inundated first. So we advise people through them, so that let's move. They are called CDRTs, Community Development Response Teams, right? So a bunch of people who know exactly what will happen in their area. So we advise them, okay, it's time to move. We should be moving at a certain time. They get the people ready, and then when NEMO declares shelters open, then we become the first responders and we man the shelters for a time until the public service is ready to take over from us.
As you've been hearing, the hurricane shelter experience this year will feature strict COVID-19 protocols, which everyone seeking sanctuary will need to abide by. We asked the Deputy Mayor about those additional procedures, and he said that Belizeans ought to be very familiar with how they work by now.
A few days ago, we had a walk-through at one of the designated shelters where we had to deal with how people should enter. The first thing they do is you wash your hands. If you don't have any water, well, then you use hand sanitizer. Then your temperature is taken, right? And then you're shown a room. Now, if in the event you have a high temperature showing signs of COVID or some flu or something like that, then you're put into a different room, and then we notify the medical authorities, and they would know what to do from there. In the shelters, we space people out. We can I say the manner, we encourage them to please bring their masks, bring their sanitizers with them as much as possible. Bring your medication, whatever it is you know that you need. Bring it along, because you need to make sure that you are okay there until we have attended to everybody, and then we could start making sure that everybody's all right. But they can help us by putting their family plan in place and following the protocols, right? We more or less know what the protocols for COVID-19 is, so just follow them. Social distance, wear a mask, sanitize as often as possible.
NEMO has compiled a list of all available hurricane shelters countrywide, which you can find at their website at nemo.org.bz National Shelter List. And while a lot of the disaster response is focused on shelter safety, many leaving their home for higher ground or a stronger roof worry about burglars seizing on the opportunity to break in. The Commissioner of Police told us what law enforcement has planned to minimize opportunistic crime.
Many persons may be forced to leave their home and go to shelters all with a view to ensure their personal safety during the storm. And with that, it is only prudent that we put things in place to ensure that we have a good complement of officers who will be conducting patrols before and after the storm. We still want to appeal to those persons who are leaving their homes to at least put the necessary security measures in place with a view to make it more difficult for burglars to be able to break in and enter. And again, from the police standpoint, we will have patrols out up to the last minute before the storm hit. And I don't mean literally last minute, but I am sure that people understand what I mean. the officers will be out on patrol for as long as the weather permits the officers to be out on patrol. We also go into 12-hour shift system as of 6 p.m. this evening. Again, will give us additional officers to be able to man the hurricane shelters, man the command centers, conduct patrols, and at the same time have a standby search and rescue team, which is going to comprise of police and members of the Belize Defense Force. So we have our plans in place to be able to respond, and to some extent I believe that we have a good plan. Yes, it is not going to be 100% burglary proof because criminals will find an opportunity, but what we are going to do is to ensure that we minimize the opportunity as best as we can. And as well as, let me say that the curfew that is currently in place may also assist us with a view to ensure that we manage the amount of persons who are on the street, as well as to be able to question persons who are found on the street.
And while the cops won't tolerate criminals on the prowl, he says police will also be understanding of those who are forced to go to shelters late.
As night begins to fall and water start to rise, and people see water rising in their house, they get jumpy and they make a last-minute decision. I have to go to shelter now, but it's midnight and there's a curfew. How will situations like this be handled?
Well, again, Jules, I would hope that common sense will prevail, and I am sure that our officers are quite reasonable, especially now. If it is that we are to encounter who there is good reason to believe that they are relocating from one area to another due to the fact that water may be rising, I am sure that the police is going to allow such person or persons to go on the merry way to that shelter that they want to go. If it is that you know that where you live is a low-lying area and is prone to flooding, then I would beg of you to please seek accommodation elsewhere, somewhere that is going to be safer for you and your family. Do not wait for the last minute to make that call, because you might not be able to relocate due to the weather, and it might eventually cause death.
And we take a break now, but when we come back, San Pedro, it's one of the communities that's going to feel the storm first. We spoke to a resident a short while ago. Don't go away.
Are better at home with Coca-Cola. Collect 2 golden caps of Coca-Cola, Fanta, or Sprite 1.5 liter with the word WIN, and 1 golden cap with the word microwave, or 1 with the word Oster, and you can win a microwave oven or Oster pots and pans. You'll also receive a free kitchen utensil with all 1.5 liter twin pack purchases. You can collect all 4 utensils. Visit www.coca-cola.com.
El contrabando es importar ilegalmente productos como el alcohol, tabaco, comida y objetos. Aparte de romper la ley, los contrabandistas están poniendo ahora en riesgo la salud de los beliceños. Ellos arriesgan traer coronavirus a Belice por medio de sus contrabandos. Para mantener el COVID-19 fuera de Belice, todos los que entren al país son examinados y encuarentenados. Sin embargo, los contrabandistas no utilizan los puntos de entrada legal y se saltan todas las medidas de seguridad. Estos mismos traficantes se están moviendo entre la población. Ellos podrían tener el virus. Al entrar ilícitamente al país, esto puede provocar un brote de COVID-19. Comprar o traficar contrabando te pone a ti, a tu familia y a todo tu país en riesgo. Para números de Smart, llama al 0800-586-7377, 0800-267-3377 y para Digi 0800-728-3293 para reportar cualquier actividad de contrabando. Este mensaje es presentado por el Departamento de Policía de Belice y el Banco de Belice.
Now is the time to sign up for the best postpaid plans in the country because Digi has doubled the data in all their plans. Now you can get even more done, connect even more, stream even more, create even more, and share even more. All on the fastest mobile network that gives you the most coverage nationwide. Now is the time to go postpaid with plans starting as low as $49 monthly. Shared plans are also available, all with unlimited talk and text. So don't wait. Hurry over to your nearest Digi store to sign up today. Enjoy double the data in all postpaid plans only with Digi.
This September will be a virtual one to remember as the National Celebrations Commission and the Minister of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture presents the Night Bram. Wednesday, September 9th, 8 p.m. until live on your favorite local television station and the Niche Facebook page. The Mighty Lord Raven, Mohobab Flores, Chico Ramos, Coconut Boy, Lucio and the New Generation Band, Miami Martinez, Kenny Gladden and the New Creation Band, and the Sweet Pain Band will got you rocking, hosted by DJ Dalla. So get those tent outfit ready, prepare your food and drinks as we will be partying in front of our television sets for the Night Bram. Wednesday, September 9th at 8 p.m. Sponsored by
the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico is from June 1st to November 30th. If you are ordered not to evacuate, there are things you can do to get through the storm in the safest possible manner. Monitor the radio or TV for weather conditions. Stay indoors until the authorities declare the storm over. Even if the weather appears to have calmed, do not go outside. The calm eye of the storm can pass quickly, leaving you outside when strong winds resume. Stay away from all windows and exterior doors. Turn off power when there is standing water or fallen power lines. Prepare to evacuate to a shelter or to a neighbor's home if your home is damaged or if you're instructed to do so by emergency personnel. Many hurricane-related injuries are cuts caused by flying glass and debris. Other injuries include bone fractures and puncture wounds from exposed nails, metal, or glass. Adzalat Audio and Video Production Company wants you and your family to be safe this hurricane season. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Brought to you by Adzalat Audio and Video Production Company and this station.
Last night, we broke the news about Belizean cattle finally being exported into Mexico. Well, the Ministry of Agriculture confirmed this morning that a total of 241 heads of cattle from Blue Creek in Orange Walk was exported to our neighbors to the north. The Blue Creek cattle was successfully imported into Mexico by the company Sucarne. The Agriculture Minister says that this arrangement was successful as a result of a collaboration between them, the Blue Creek livestock farmers, the Cattle Export Committee, the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, and the Belize Livestock Producers Association. It's a major trading milestone that has been many years and many cattle sweeps in the making. Earlier in the news, we showed you how Belize City's hurricane shelters had stalled in opening, with residents perhaps choosing to stay home rather than risk contracting coronavirus in a crowded shelter. But what's happening in San Pedro, which is the COVID epicenter and the first large community which will feel the effect of the storm? Right now, it's less than 75 southeast of San Pedro. Our colleague from the San Pedro Sun, Dion Vanson, tells us that shelters there are open and receiving people, and there are also COVID shelters for those who are infected or awaiting their results. He also gave us his view on how Tropical Storm Nana is shaping up so far.
It's an easy question tonight. We're asking, what's it like on San Pedro right now? The wind's kicking up. How's it going?
Right now, it's very cloudy. There is dark clouds, and the wind is not. It feels like a normal windy day. There is cool breeze, but nothing strong. Nothing like. Nothing like a tropical storm or a hurricane. It's just a normal breeze, but it's very cloudy. Mm-hmm.
People in San Pedro, they're used to the storm surges, but this is different because now they're already this epicenter of viral coronavirus. Mm-hmm. So how are they dealing with the storm coming now? What's the mood on the island?
The mood is just based on the storm is just it's very calm. And people have secured their properties. So and some places they're just confident that it's just rain that is coming to this area. It's not really the full blast of the weather. So there is no panic, and although we have a lot of people that are sick with COVID-19, well, the Ministry of Health is dealing with the area when it comes to COVID-19 patients, and so residents are not really worrying much about people with COVID-19 because personnel from the Ministry of Health are looking into that, and are making sure that if they go to a shelter, that is assigned only for them. But when it comes to the storm, there is no panic. Everybody is just observing and just hoping that it will just pass and not cause anything significant on the island.
Since our call, Dion has reported that drizzling has started on San Pedro, but no significant winds to talk about. And we note that rains also started in the city about half an hour ago. We'll keep monitoring it. And while that is what's happening now, later tonight into tomorrow, the story could be about search and rescue efforts. The NEMO National Coordinator says he has BDF on the ready.
Getting the operational agencies, if you wish, like the BDF and so in position in the event we have to look at search and rescue, because once it starts to make landfall, people in remote areas, people in structures that are not safe will start to have a kind of concern and start calling to say, oh, I'm stranded, I see the river the raise or my creek the raise and I can't come out,
And to ensure that NEMO has enough manpower and support, the Belize Defense Force has activated a protocol called Fastball. And Fastball means that soldiers on staff are obligated to report to work for disaster response. This evening we spoke via telephone with Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Garcia about how fastball works.
All right, fastball is a code word used to inform members of the Belize Defense Force who are not on official duties to report to their place of work to prepare for the imminent threat of a hurricane. This is done so that we have the manpower required to support NEMA if any task arises prior or after the storm.
How often is fastball activated, sir?
All right, so fastball is activated whenever there is threat of a hurricane. When a hurricane is about to hit the country of Belize, we activate fastball to inform our soldiers. Whenever there is an emergency that requires assistance from the BDF, we would activate fastball.
And one of the major personal emergencies tonight will be power outages caused by heavy winds and rain. BEL says that it is, quote, taking all necessary measures to maintain continuous, safe and reliable service to customers where possible. The company is mobilizing its people, resources and equipment to ensure that we are prepared to assess and recover from any impacts of the approaching storm. The statement adds, quote, in the event that there is loss of power supply due to damage from Tropical Storm Nana, we will dispatch our teams to conduct assessments and repairs in order to restore power works as soon as the all clear is given and it is safe to do so, end quote. So basically, they can't fix your outage if the weather is too unstable for repair teams to work safely. And today we had a small preview of extreme weather in the south with this water spout near Half Moon Key, we are told. And as these ominous skies above Belmopan showed this evening, well, it could be a very long night. And that's all we have for you for tonight's newscast. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. As Tropical Storm Nana approaches, we ask you to stay safe and keep up to date with its developments through your radio. Our team will be out in the field tonight, so look out for live updates via our 7 News Belize Facebook page. Remember, even with the storm, the curfew starts at 9 countrywide tonight, so if you need to get to a shelter, please move ahead of that hour. Remember also to wash your hands, wear a mask at all times in public, properly of course, and to make sure to keep as best as can your social distance. Good night, stay safe, and if we all have power, make sure to join me back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Have a good one.